Welcome everybody to the urbanoutlander.com. My name is Jordan. I'm so happy to have you here. Thanks so much for checking out the video. Check out my website, theurbanoutlander.com. You can sign up for a newsletter. You can check me out on Twitter at Urban Outlander. I'm on Facebook, the Urban Outlander. But first, just to put it out there, I am a DA virgin. I haven't read the second book. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I've read the first book, of course watched the first season, but I'm still a DA virgin, and we'll see how long I can hold out for as we continue into season 2. Let's talk about episode 2. Not in Scotland anymore. We have some new friends, some new characters. It starts out pretty intensely, pretty horrific, but then we start getting into some absurd comedic elements, some peaks in the episode that at first I wasn't quite sure. I felt like it was a little uneven, and then watching it a few more times, I like it more. And so let's get into it. I felt like they did something kind of interesting because so much of Outlander, particularly in the press leading up to season 2, has been about the hot, sexy stuff, right? And us fans, of course, we want to see some of that love, sex stuff happening too. So it opens, and at first it's like, here we go. And then pretty quickly, even the first time I watched it, none of this seems right. Yeah, it's like the camera angles, the lighting, the soft focus. This is not a typical Outlander sex love scene, right? There's something wrong, and then with the reveal, it all goes horribly wrong. The first scene really sets a tone, and Blackjack Randall yet again casting this insidious shadow on their relationship as they're in France in this new chapter of their lives together. So it's hard, it's horrible, it's gory, it's violent, and it's just plain disturbing. There's nothing else to it, right? So what a way to sort of knock us out of any sort of inclination that just maybe we have Claire and Jamie getting it on, and it's great. No, there's none of that. There's still the trauma that he's dealing with, and I think they've so far have handled it pretty well in the story. So with all of this darkness and the violent opening, disturbing, the comedic elements, there's so many comedic and absurd points in this episode. Gosh, we meet Louise. She's quite the character, but she's a free spirit. She's comfortable with her body. She's introducing Claire to the French cultural aesthetics of I don't even know how to say it. And I like that moment of Claire and Mary Hawkins sort of being like horrified, but also sort of fascinated at the same time. And of course, throughout that, basically at the end of that moment, Claire says, I'll take one of those. We have some dildos in the brothel. What a way to sort of culture shock into French 18th century society and how they deal with sex. So if you want to rent a dildo, stop on by is their message. And I'd rather buy one than rent one. That's another conversation. The red dress. There was so much hype that was leading up to this season about the red dress, and for a person like me who didn't read the book, I didn't really know what people were talking about. But of course, the unveiling of the dress is so exquisite and so beautiful, and I kind of like how short it is, so you can see like her wonderful shoes. Jamie's reaction and Murtaugh's reaction are pretty classic. I really like the way Sam Heughan delivers that line of, "Woman, are you mad?" I just love that. That was just really wonderful. And Murtaugh just sort of being agog, and Jamie sort of hitting him like, "Stop looking at my wife like that." That was a lot of fun. Honeypot. Let's talk about the honeypot. The actually only thing I have to say about it is I'm happy that Jamie isn't the forest. For those of us who don't get Brazilian waxes, it's sort of nice to have Jamie being into the natural look of a woman. Anyway, King Louie's intro to this episode was, I don't really know what the word is other than I wasn't expecting it. I felt like it was a little over the top. I'm sure there is a reason why we're introduced to him in this manner, but tip of the hat to Jamie for being so graceful in handling it. Annalise, shall we call her the French Leary? Let's call her the French Leary. Love the side eye that Claire was giving Jamie in that scene. And Jamie just being, not even knowing what to do with himself. And I liked the moment where walks out of the scene with Annalise and doesn't even really look at Claire and has that look of, I got a lot to answer to when I get home. So we meet new characters, one of them being Prince Charles Stuart. He's a bit of a dandy, right? He's a bit of this delusional, infantile guy, and my goodness, is he the guy who's supposed to lead the Jacobite Rebellion? Or should it be Jamie? I think we all know the answer to that. Who's the real Jacobite here? You know, Murtagh and Jamie are the loyal Scots. They lay it out there. And in the first episode, we see that too with Jamie, when Jared asks him, you know, what's the fire in your heart? That's a great line. And Jamie has to answer to that, and he does. And then in this episode, it's again, who's the real Jacobite? Who's the real loyal Scotsman who understands? And it's Murtagh, and it's Jamie. And I agree with Jamie. I wouldn't trust him with my vegetable patch either. But this also highlights Jamie, the reluctant hero. He's thrust into the situation where all he wants to do is get back to Scotland, plant some crops, try to get over Jack Randall, and just like be with Claire and have a family with her. And instead, thanks to Claire, he's thrust into the situation where he's trying to dissuade he's trying to dissuade Prince Charles from leading this rebellion. And instead, Prince Charles says, hey, why don't you go be my advocate at the royal court and raise money for the rebellion? And Jamie just sort of has this look of, ah, fuck. But this unveiling, this peeling away of his reluctancy and nervousness and maybe a little bit of hesitation, how does that all get peeled away as we get going in the season? And how does he be unveiled and become the leader and the hero and the king of men that we all anticipate him to be? Speculations. Here are some of my speculations. Again, I haven't read the second book, not sure, but here's a few ideas. First, let's talk about Black Jack Randall. He has 3 beats in this episode. It's the opening. The second beat is when Claire is trying to be sexually intimate with Jamie. And then the third beat is the ending of the episode. We meet Alex Randall. I don't know what to say about Alex. He's in the first book, not in the first season. I kind of forgot about him, honestly. As we were getting into season 2, I forgot about him. And then here he is. And he's markedly different from his brother, which I don't know if that freaks me out more or if that's something to be grateful for. I guess I should be grateful, right? I just don't know if I should be scared or happy. I'm not sure how he is and how he plays, how his character fits in the scheme of the season. Mary Hawkins. Why is her name so familiar? I thought I had it. I thought I was right on the ball. I thought it was the guy from season 1 in the Rent episode where Claire comes upon the Englishman in the village. And then at the end of the episode, he comes back and we see he's a British soldier. I thought it was that guy. I was so sure it was him. And then I watched the episode and it's not him. His last name is Thomas. So that sort of dampened my excitement at thinking I knew who the Hawkins connection was. But now I don't really know what to say. I don't know what to think because who is Mary Hawkins and what is her connection and how is that gonna play out? And since she was talking to Alex Randall, I'm feeling like this isn't going to be good. Ugh, I don't know. So let's see where it goes with that. But Mary Hawkins, I just was so sure that I had something on that girl, and now I'm not sure. But I'm pretty convinced that there has to be a mention of Hawkins in season 1. I feel like there is. Am I making this up? I feel like there's something there, and I'm not remembering, and I need to I gotta think about it more because that's gonna bother me. I mean, of course I'll find out what happens and who Mary Hawkins is and her connection to whomever, but I'm gonna be thinking about it over the next week until the next episode. The Duke of Sandringham comes back, and it's a good cliffhanger at the end, right? He just is this horrible, evil guy, and in season 1 he's a little bit foppish, right? He's just sort of like the silly character. and I felt like a little bit of a bumbling jerk. But in this episode, he is just downright evil and smarmy and nasty. And that last look he gives Claire as he's walking out of the room, it's just like, he's awful, right? I almost wish they didn't have a voiceover at the end of that episode. It's already clear that we're all thinking, what is Jamie going to do if he finds out? What is he going to think? What's going to happen? And I almost felt like they didn't really need her voiceover at the end, but it was a good cliffhanger, and let's see what happens. It's going to be really cool and really interesting, and I don't know, I feel like there's like this weaving of a web that's happening now with all the plans that are being taken, and so we'll see how much the web starts getting more convoluted and opaque. So excited to always talk about Outlander. Come on my website, check out the videos, leave your comments, whether you've read the books or you haven't read the books and you're a virgin like me. Leave your comments. I want to know what you think. I want to know what you say. And maybe I'm missing stuff. Maybe I'm crazy about the Mary Hawkins thing and I'm convinced that there's some connection from season 1. I don't know, but it's going to bug me all week. But let me know. TheUrbanOutlander.com. My name is Jordan. Check me out on Twitter at Urban Outlander. And check out the Facebook page. I'm not on Instagram yet. Maybe it'll happen. But for now, check me out there. And let's do this, you guys. Season 2 is rolling.